Hello everyone, Fru here. Welcome to today's relevant read. So guys, in today's read is going to be amazing. We're going to talk about this amazing article that shares 12 amazing smartphone hacks for the 20-something. So 12 amazing smartphone hacks for the 20-something. As a matter of fact, what I would say is this is just 12 amazing smartphone hacks, period. Right? Whether you're 20-something or not, I feel like this hacks is something that could be very relevant for you. Alright guys, smartphone is very popular these days. As a matter of fact, I had statistics here opened just on Google, plain old Google, doing a quick search out of smartphones. You can see that 2.7 billion smartphone users worldwide, right? 77% of Americans have smartphones. 47% of US smartphones users says they couldn't live without just devices, right? And then the statistics are just mind-blowing. So a lot of people have smartphones, and I'm sure you might be watching this because you have a smartphone. And why don't we go through this article so we can see some hacks that could be very essential to us. So I went through it. I thought some of them were interesting, some of them were a little bit obvious, but guys, nonetheless, even if we can take out just one nugget from this or one lesson from this, I think that would be very, very, very valuable. Alright guys, so we're gonna dive in. The first one, you can hide your cash or your card or your ID in your smartphone case. Pretty obvious, right? A lot of people have smartphones. The case is a place where you can hide cash, right? That way you're walking around and a lot of people don't know, people might not tell quickly that you have money on you. So, but if you're hiding your cash or your card in your smartphone, you just have to be careful that you don't lose that smartphone. Otherwise, it's just gonna be a double whammy, right? It's gonna be a big loss there for you. Alright, next one. Take screenshots of travel directions and then turn off your mobile data. Alright guys, so if you're traveling the country, you're going from point A to point B, sometimes it's tempting to want to use the GPS, but the GPS doesn't work everywhere, right? You might be out in the back country, or you might be out in a place where data is not, or the mobile data is not very clear, and so your GPS will fail you. What you might want in that case is to make sure that you have your directions physically with you, right, as a picture. So even if you can't get cell data and you still have that as a picture on your phone, then you're in a better position. All right, so if data ever fails, then you can have a backup as a picture. Now, what if your battery dies? Then that's a worst scenario. So in that case, you might want to have physical maps with you in your car or in your person. I always recommend that, right? The phone, you can always rely on that, right? It might be a dead battery or something, and you might really be in a deep hole. So nonetheless, take screenshots of your travel directions. That way you can turn off your mobile data, and the benefit of that is you might save, depending on where you are, save on mobile data, and then also save on battery, right? If your mobile data is not working, that tends to increase the battery life for the phone. Number 3, switch your mobile phone to airplane mode to charge it faster. Guys, I actually tried this and it works. Well, at least it worked on my phone. Alright, switch it to airplane mode, and that way when you're charging, it charges faster. Or if you're in a situation where you really want to conserve battery on your phone, you switch it to airplane mode. A lot of the programs and things that are running behind the scenes would just automatically not work, and so you can get very better performance with your battery. Alright, so switch it until you charge it, and then when it's charged, it's used. You can then go ahead and use it. Number 4, shut down apps you don't need. This is pretty obvious, guys. I would imagine if there are apps on your phone that you're not using, guys, don't just, as a matter of fact, I would say uninstall them even, right? Just take them out, or make sure you shut them down, right? There are ways to shut down apps in iOS or in Android that you can definitely do to ensure that you're not using battery and wasting precious battery power on your phone if it's not being used. Alright, number 5, press and hold the shutter button to take continuous photos. We know we live in an age where image is really one of the biggest means of communication with Instagram and such. So why take one photo if you could take 20 shots per second? And the phones allow you to do that. So there are ways to do it. So you can I think it talks there was a place where it talks about that continuous shot allow user to press, depends on the phone, press and hold the shutter button. Alright, that's where I was looking for. So press and hold the shutter button, and then you can take up to 20 shots per second depending on the phone. Alright guys, number 6, use your phone's front camera for soft pictures, rare for detailed pictures. I have actually noticed this myself. If you're trying to take a selfie, right, most people would want to use the phone, back camera, the camera that's on the back of the phone, but usually the quality of that, I realize, at least with my phone, it's not as good as if I use the front camera, but then the front camera is in front, so you can't really use it. Again, the front camera, I'm referring to the one facing away from you, and the back camera is the one on the screen or towards the screen that's facing towards you when you hold the phone. All right, so the front camera usually have more power. If there's a way you can flip it around manually and take a picture with that for your selfie, to me that's usually a better one, right? The backward one, sure, it helps just for convenience when taking it, but I don't think it usually gives you the best quality picture that you can have. All right, number 7, use volume keys as a shutter while taking pictures using a single hand. I think this is also a tip you can follow. If you might be in a situation where you're trying to take that selfie, you have one hand holding something and you need to take that picture with the other hand, right? Most phones, again, depending on the phone, you can just use the shutter. You can use the shutter button to be able to take the picture with one hand, or you can use the phone's volume keys as well, which usually is easier to get to on the side than the shutter button, which might be on the screen, and be able to take pictures that way. Number 8, cover the microphone with film when filming a video to record clearer audio, right? You might be in a situation where your phone takes great audio. If that's you, fine, guys, but this tip says just cover the microphone a little bit. Usually it's at the bottom near the charging port. Again, depending on the phone, you might want to look for where your microphone is. If you cover that, it really helps. You don't want to cover it in a way that then covers all the sound coming to the microphone, but just enough so that it reduces ambient noise, and then that way the sound that you capture would be a lot clearer. All right, number 9, put your phone in a plastic sandwich bag if it's in a wet, muddy place to prevent it from being ruined, guys. Again, this is a no-brainer. If you're close to water or wet situations, just put your phone in a Ziploc bag or something, right? It's pretty cheap. You can always have that handy with you. That way, you don't want to get your phone wet. There are a lot of phones these days that claim to be waterproof, but guys, if you've spent a couple of $100, dollars, or sometimes even thousands of dollars to buy a phone, why would you want to take chances to figure out if it's waterproof or not? So just put it in a plastic sandwich bag. That usually helps, or a Ziploc bag. That usually helps. Number 10, avoid using the phone while it's charging. That's obvious too there, guys. If you're charging your phone, it's tempting to say, oh, it's charging, so I could just keep using it, right? Usually that affects the battery life, right? You want to charge your phone, and when it's done, you use it. When it's run out of the juice or battery power, then charge it. All right, you don't want to plug it, and this is true with most devices that are rechargeable, right? You want to charge it and then use it. All right. Number 11, don't make calls when you're receiving weak signal strength, right? This one was kind of interesting to me. I didn't quite realize this, but and that's why I have this as part of the relevant reads, because sometimes it's hard to tell if you have weak signal strength, but you can see from the phone, right? On the top right corner of your phone, most phones will have the bars that tell you the signal strength. So if that's kind of low and you're receiving it, what happens is it forces your phone to struggle more to pick up that signal, and so it's using more power. All right, whereas if there is strong signal, your phone doesn't have to struggle as much, and that way your battery strength is lasts longer. All right, so this is an interesting tip. So if you have a choice to maybe step outside where your signal is strong, then step outside and do it, right? Or if you're in a situation, an emergency where you really want to conserve your battery for longer times, then again you want to go back to one of the previous tips that we talked about and just put your phone on airplane mode because when you have it on airplane mode, then it's not worrying about picking up signals, I believe, until when you get to the position where you have some signal, you want to be able to use the phone, you can then use it that way and conserve battery. Number 12, if you are in a new place, take a picture, and this is 12, last but not least, take a picture of landmark where you park your car. Guys, have you ever been in a situation, you go to a parking lot, you park your car, you go out, you run errands, or you come back, and you can't find your car anymore, right? And you've got an ocean of cars right in front of you, but you recognize all the cars except your car, right? But what you can do is, once you park your car, was there an electric pole nearby? Was there a meter? Was there a building or something nearby that stood out? Just take a picture of it. That way when you come back, you can just navigate to that position very easily, and then you've got your car. Some of the things that I've done, especially with parking ramps, or that might have different floors if you're in the US or someplace, right? Some of them will have floor numbers when you go towards the elevator. So what I do is I just take a picture of that floor number, the elevator, or something like that. All right, that way when I come back, instead of me having to remember what floor was it, floor 3, 4, floor 5, and some of them will have 3A, 3B, 3C, 3J, and you just really confused, and all of them just looks the same, right? So, or even at airports and things like that, right? If you have to travel a lot. So what I do, I just take a picture of it. That way my mental power is not strained trying to remember the floor level. I come back, I look at the picture on my phone, and I can know exactly where to go to find my car, right? And you can do this for anything that might involve navigation. All right, guys. So they say pictures are worth 1,000 words, or they say a picture will beat even the brightest mind, because once you capture it in a picture, it's very hard to forget, right? Unless you delete that photo, right? I know some of you there have photogenic memories, but for me, I wouldn't count on that. So guys, take a picture. That way, once you come back, you can always remember where you parked your car, or your navigation in general. All right, guys, thanks for joining. That was the last of it. This was a very quick one. I just wanted to share this. We live in an age where smartphones, we looked at the statistics, it's almost everywhere. I'm sure you might be watching this video on a smartphone right now. All right, and so some of these tips and tricks are something that can really help you get the most out of your smartphone, whether you're 20 something or just a person in general. These are tips that can really help you. Just to recap: hide your ID, take screenshots of your travel directions, switch to airplane mode to save battery power, shut down apps you don't need, right? Press and hold to take continuous shot. You can take up to 20 shots per second. Use your phone's front camera for softer picture, right? Use volume keys as shutter to take pictures as well. Cover your microphone for better sound. Put your phone in plastic sandwich bag to prevent it getting wet. Avoid using your phone whilst charging. Don't make calls when you're receiving weak signal strength. And if you want to remember something or somewhere you parked your car, take a picture of it. All right, guys, thanks for joining. Really appreciate you joining. As usual, the link to this relevant read will be in the description below. I hope you get great value out of it. And what I'm curious to know is, which one of these stands out as your favorite hack, or do you have hacks of your own that you want to share, guys? Please join in the comment section below and share those hacks so others can see.